Coach Ogeron was complimentary of a lot of people around the program yesterday, but called Coach Tommy Moffitt of the strength staff, who's been on staff for over 20 years, the MVP about what's going on right now. And he's kind enough to jump on with us when I know is a busy time for him and getting his team prepared to play. Coach, thanks for the time. Good morning.
Good morning, Jordy. Hey, T-Bob.
What's up, Coach?
Can you take us through what's going on, just kind of the daily regimen of how it's changed for you guys and how you're communicating with your team?
Yeah. So it's mainly just communicating with each guy along with my staff. I couldn't do it without the strength and conditioning staff. So we're just calling and texting guys every day, asking questions, answering questions, giving them suggestions on what they might do when sometimes little or no equipment at all is available.
Coach Moffitt, Anonymous User the Huddle, wanted me to ask you earlier. I think it's a great question. Is this the longest you have gone in your adult life without yelling at anyone?
Yes.
Poor Aaron Moffitt.
Yes. This is the longest that I have gone in 31 years without coaching someone face to face. I mean, this is by far the longest break that I've ever had away from our players. And my job is hands-on. I mean, I'm used to coaching guys and being right there with them. But yeah, this has been kind of strange. But we just have to make do, with the circumstances. And fortunately for us, everyone has the same issues. It doesn't matter if you're here or Tennessee Tech, where I played football, we all follow or fall under the same rules, given to us by the NC2A. So we're not unlike anyone else. So it's just a matter of our ability to communicate and our players' ability to find something to do while remaining safe. That's the key. You have to still remain safe because this is not something to play with.
And so when you're trying to customize these workouts for so many different setups, right? Like we talked to Brad Johnson. I know that Max, they've got this, a beautiful, huge yard, and he's got his little brother he can throw to. Like he's in a pretty good setup. Others might be in something more like a condo or an apartment or something that's a little more, I guess, concrete and like landlocked. How do you customize workouts for guys based on their individual setups? Like what's the process there?
Well, so on the 12th or 13th of March, I don't exactly remember when we were told that we were going to be locked out. We sat down as a strength and conditioning staff, and we came up with 5 different options that we wanted our guys to attempt. And then, so option number 1 is what we're currently doing. So someone like Max or Aaron or anybody else out there that has access to barbells, dumbbells, and kettlebells has plenty to do.
Yeah.
And then option number 5 is a series of different body weight circuits with push-ups and dip, chair dips and body weight squats and single leg squats and chin-ups, and it's just body weight exercises. So the lifting part is the hardest part. The running is by far the easiest part. All you need to do to run.
I would disagree, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. But I tell them, get up, get dressed, go outside and run. Football is a game where you have to be able to run, and all you need to run is a pair of shoes. And you can do that if you can do it on concrete, you can do it in sand, you can do it in water, you can do it on grass. And so that's the easy part. But finding a external resistance, something to push against, because football is a game of pushing. So finding something for our big guys to push against and it to be progressive is the hardest thing to find. And so it boils down to guys pushing cars and trucks in their parking lot or their driveway. And it's been pretty neat also to see our players' imagination and just their ability to go out and find something that they can do on their own. So it's really been neat because we've had some guys, it's LSU, and we have some guys that are highly motivated football players And we've gotten some really funny videos that guys send us from doing different things. So it's actually been kind of refreshing and fun to some degree also.
Oh, man, I'm having so many flashbacks. I think Walter Jones, a badass tackle, that's how he would never do squats. He would just push cars all the time. Then I'll just never forget running 110s. I'm dying, struggling like always. And Coach Moffitt just yelled, "There's nothing more natural than running. Human beings have been doing it for thousands of years. What is wrong with you?"
Coach, you have a team goal in mind when you're getting your team in shape in the offseason. Then you have individual plans and goals for all of the players when you work with them on a micro level. Do those change with the setup now?
Well, yeah, right now, everything has changed. And, there's still guys that have to gain weight, and there's still guys that have to lose weight. And we're constantly working between Shelley and Zach Bennett, our nutritionist, and Jake Riedel, my assistant, who is responsible for being the liaison to our dietitians, et cetera. They're working on strategies for individual players to help them to lose or gain weight, which, right now, again, that's hard, because if you're going to gain weight, extra calories help, but you also have the resistance strength. And then now the losing weight part, that should be the easiest right now because all a guy has to do is go outside and run. So we're individualizing that, but, and then there's guys that have to do rehab. So, I've called those guys and said, make sure that, when you have time to do this, 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 and this, and that's about all you can do. That's, it's been phenomenal. I think I would be shocked that our kids aren't one of the best programs as far as compliance right now in America, based on everything that I have seen from them and everything that they have told me. I would be shocked that our guys do not come back in great shape. I really would. Like I said, it's been phenomenal to see their response to the text messages and the phone calls.
You are a great resource about individuals and players over the last 20 years that have come and gone through that program, and it's back at clicking at a championship level. Tyrann Mathieu was named to the All-Decade Defensive Team in the NFL yesterday. He's gone through as much adversity as a student athlete or as a professional athlete than anybody I've ever covered. You were as close to him as anybody that's come through that program. When you see an accomplishment like that for a former Tiger that went through what he did, what was your initial thought?
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all because of the type of person he was. And, he was just such a super, super guy. Although he had some personal issues that he had to deal with and learn to deal with, his effort, his attitude, his attention to detail was always there. And it's just phenomenal that somebody can fall as low as he did and then pick himself up by his bootstraps and then accomplish all that he's accomplished. And I'm not surprised at all. I remember when he was suspended from our team, or he was kicked off our team. And I remember getting off at the bus. I don't remember what game it was, but I got off the bus at the top of Victory Hill. And as we're lining up to walk down the hill, I looked over into the crowd and I saw Tyrann, and he had the biggest smile on his face. And here's a guy that has been told, he can't compete, he can't go to school, etc. And I look over there, and you could just see his love and admiration for this program and the guys that were going to play for us that day. And I went over there, and I shook hands with him and gave him a hug. And I will never forget that moment, because you could just see the love that he had for everyone on this football team. And I'll never forget it. And that's the reason why he has accomplished all that he has accomplished, because he wasn't sour about it. He knew that he had made a mistake, and he accepted responsibility for his faults, and he got better. And he's just a phenomenal human being.
We mentioned that Ogeron called you the MVP of what's going on in the offseason right now, but when he stops by here, he seems like the chemistry on his staff right now is excellent. You've been there for over 20 years. Right now, this staff seems like it's as good as anyone in working together. Do you agree with that, or what is your thoughts on the staff?
Well, yeah, so the staff is phenomenal, and I think, last year's staff was really, really good, and we lost some great coaches, but Coach has done a phenomenal job. He's a great evaluator of character and work ethic, and again, he worked so hard that, any competitor is going to try to match his effort and match his enthusiasm. And I feel the same about this staff here. It's been phenomenal to be with these guys, what little time we got to spend together. But I know in talking to them, and, we have these Zoom meetings with the players. The coaches have them, and I've got to sit in some of those Zoom meetings, and their preparation has been phenomenal. And to listen to those guys teach and coach online, and the attention that the guys have for what they're doing has been phenomenal. And, he's just a great coach, and he's a great motivator, and he leads by example. And again, if you're a competitor, if you're any type of competitor, I don't see how in the world you can't raise your standard of excellence based on his work.
Strength and conditioning coach for LSU, the best in the business, Tommy Moffitt, joining us here on Off the Bench. Thank you for the time, Coach. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Always.
Go Tigers.